make use of such laws. We shouldn't make laws to just exist on paper. We should enforce these laws so that any other time we are legislating, people can see change happening, so that not every other parliament that comes here, we keep lamenting about the same issue. And at least this time round, the National Assembly didn't want to twist and show the normal rivalry that happens between the National Assembly and Senate. That shows that we are at a time where people and leaders want to put their heads together so that we solve the challenges we are facing as a country together, Mr. Speaker. So with those remarks, I wish to support my colleagues who sat and actually crafted this, and I wish that this passes so that counties can get resources to continue with their activities, but I want to warn the county chiefs against wasting such money, because when you waste such money, you're putting the lives of so many other people at risk. So many people who are not accessing affordable health care. And so many years after we actually passed the 2010 Constitution, so that we have this devolved government to have services closer to the people. We didn't want to have corruption affecting people more at that local level, Mr. Speaker. So I want to support this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator William Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to support this mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's not lost to all of us as senators or even members of National Assembly that the reason why we are in this particular situation, because we had already earlier passed DORA and CARA, Honorable Speaker, but because of what happened on 25th and 26th of June, Honorable Speaker, the finance bill had to be shelved, had to be withdrawn, and it has occasioned basically a reduction of over 300 billion generally in the budget, and it has caused now the reduction of the shareable revenue to the counties to 387.425 billion, Honorable Speaker, from 400 billion, which all of us as senators had passed, and we had agreed that the reason why we wanted to give more to the counties was because of several reasons. One of the reasons, Honorable Speaker, is because of the housing levy. Basically, the counties were contributing the counterpart portion of the 1.5% of the housing levy from its employees, Honorable Speaker. And then another portion that the counties were contributing is to NSSF, because NSSF is a pension basically fund, and what the employee is contributing, the employer is also expected to contribute. That is what occasioned also the reduction of the amount the counties were using on the development budget, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is good to give credit to our colleagues, especially the senators who were in that committee, because if you saw the team from National Assembly, especially the co-chair of that team, Honorable Speaker, he was very adamant that 38 billion was going to be enough to go to the counties. And that would have been very sad, Honorable Speaker, because last financial year, 2023-24, what was sent to the counties was 385 billion, 425 million, Honorable Speaker, and it would have occasioned basically a reduction from what they got last year. So the difference of 2.5 billion from last year's, I believe it will basically enable the governors to sort out the expenses on the housing levy, NSSF contributions, and also their counterpart, the 2,500,000 that they'll contribute to pay the community health promoters as their portion, because I believe the national government will continue to contribute the other half of the stipend to our community health promoters, because this particular community health promoters, Honorable Speaker, are the ones who are helping the counties and both the national government, basically, especially in rolling out now the famous Taiva Care, Honorable Speaker, so that our people can get basically services in medical field under the Social Health Authority and Social Health Insurance Fund, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's not easy. We know we are facing challenges. And the president was very clear when he spoke on Thursday, when he was addressing the nation, when he was giving the State of the Nation address, Honorable Speaker, that when Kenya Kwanza government came into power, there were a lot of challenges. And he also gave us a warning then that at the beginning, we will go through a lot of challenges, but in due course, Honorable Speaker, things will change for the better. That is why, Honorable Speaker, we have been told that as of September last year, the inflation rate, Honorable Speaker, was 9.6%. And as of October this year, it has dropped from 9.6 last year, September, to 2.7%. Honorable Speaker, I know Kenyans are asking, why are we not feeling this drop on inflation? There are many factors, Honorable Speaker. We thank God that the rains have continued for long. Our people across the country, they have food, and the rains are also continuing to grow, to rain, Honorable Speaker. And our people, we continue to tell them to plow, grow, so that at least the basic needs, food, is put on the table, Honorable Speaker. I believe this is one of the key reasons why inflation has dropped, Honorable Speaker, from that 9.6 to 2.7, and this they said it's the highest drop in 17 years, which is good news, and I believe by next year we are going to feel the effects of this drop in inflation rate, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are many other issues that we were told during that State of Nation address, which is also related to this particular mediated version of the bill, Honorable Speaker, that our governors, there is a lot of wastage, there is a lot of corruption, both at the national level and also at the county level. And we want to warn the governors, and especially EACC, we expect the big fish to be arrested. We want investigations to be done. Why are there files that are lying at EACC for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years, for the last 6 months? As the president said, our petitions at the judiciary take only 6 months. Why are we not able to prosecute corruption cases within the same time? Why is EACC not able to investigate within a short time, take the file to DPP and the Director of Public Prosecution, take people to court and let them set an example? As my colleagues have said, when you go to China, if you are found as corrupt, basically you're executed. So I think maybe we need to review our constitution again and see if this can be brought back, Honorable Speaker. So that, because if the resources that we are sending to the counties and also what remains at the national government are used well, are used prudently, basically we should not be borrowing. We should not borrow. We should be using our pension funds to do private public projects, Honorable Speaker. Why are we going to India? Why are we going to China? We should use our pension funds. NSSF, CPF, LAF fund should be doing all these things. To go across the outside here, Honorable Speaker, you will see CBK pension has put up a building, Teleposta was put up by a postal pension scheme. Let us use these pension funds to fund projects within the country, because the moment we use the Kenya shilling, we borrow, we will not have that problem of the foreign exchange issues. Because if you read, I read the report in the course of the week, Honorable Speaker, that the reason why our loans are not coming down, they are growing day by day, it is because of the exchange rate. Luckily, now the exchange rate to the dollar, Honorable Speaker, is 129. It came down from 162, a drop of 20%. So we say thank God, and we thank the policy because of the policy changes that they have put in place. That's why the shilling has strengthened and also it has stabilized. Because when it is stable, at least it is predictable, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, from what we have seen that there are some organizations, especially the national government, Honorable Speaker, that has digitized. When Kenya Kwanza government came into power, they said that they had only digitized about 5,000 services. Now there are 20,000, 6,000%. There is growth of revenue. Why are our governors not digitizing their services to seal leakages of revenue? In fact, Honorable Speaker, as an ICT, I'm a member of ICT committee, and we have done an inquiry. And we are going to travel to about 4 counties this weekend, Honorable Speaker, to see the systems they are using. Because when you digitize, Honorable Speaker, basically you minimize wastages, you see leakages, just the way the national government has done. And revenue has grown by 6,000%, Honorable Speaker. We were told last week by His Excellency the President and Honorable Speaker that KWS, by using e-Citizen, their revenue grew from about 4 billion to around 7 billion. Very soon, they'll not need any money from the exchequer. We want to reach a level where our counties are not relying on the share of revenue. That should be coming as a pleasant to do, especially development projects, Honorable Speaker, because the county governments are relying on share of revenue to pay salaries, to buy medicine, to do infrastructure projects, and basically what is left to pay, it is, in fact, most of the counties, the resources that go to development are less than 10%. So basically, our counties are a source of, it's like an employment bureau, Honorable Speaker. I mean, there's nothing much that you see. Recently, we went, as a energy committee, went to Wajir. Apart from maybe the county assembly that is being built and the governor's office, you don't see anything else. You move around, you don't see much. So, and this one is replicated everywhere in Kenya, apart from maybe the resources they get directly from donors, maybe World Bank to do the roads within the major towns within the counties. Otherwise, there's nothing else. They built ECDs for the last 12 years. Counties are just using money to build early childhood education classrooms. Because in Elgeyo Marakwet County, I've not seen anything much that has been done. We were in Turkana last year, Senate Mashinani. The governor's office has been built for the last 12 years. It's not complete. And they have spent, no, it's not, I think it's over 9 billion. Yeah. So, over $1 billion to do a small thing. Same in Tarakaniti. The other day we were told they even got money from the conditional grant, but the buildings are not complete. So we want the governors to digitize this project, to digitize the services, to see leakages. And what they also need to do, our business community, especially the transporters, they have multiple levies. You transport a bag of cement, a lorry of sand from Magweni, you pay levies. You come to Machakos, you pay levies. You come to Nairobi, you pay levies. So, Honorable Speaker, basically we are saying our governors need to digitize, they need to use the resources well, Honorable Speaker, so that our people can benefit properly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe what we need to do then is to increase our oversight role. We need to visit the counties we partner with the MCS so that we ensure the governors, the executives at the counties do proper implementation of projects, and they put in enough resources to complete a project within either 1 or 2 financial years, so that projects don't continue. A new governor comes, he shelves a project that was started by the predecessor, and basically, eventually, we don't benefit. Honorable Speaker, finally, on road maintenance levy, Honorable Speaker, I agree with the governors. I know they have gone to court. This is money that we should not give to members of National Assembly. The business of National Assembly is the same as senators, to do legislation, oversight, and representation. And anything that touches development should be done by the National Executive or the County Executive, Honorable Speaker. So the RLMF funds should be given directly to the governors, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I support and ask colleagues, please let us support so that by the time we go for our long recess, the governors can access more resources, and the controller budget, please expedite and release resources to the counties by approving. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Richard Onyonka, I would like to give you to contribute on this matter, but Senator Mariam has been here waiting the whole morning. So if we can agree, I give Senator Mariam 10 minutes and you finish with the rest of the time. Senator Mariam, please, 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this amendment, this mediation amendment of division of revenue. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I acknowledge and thank the members of the committees led by the co-chair, that is my party leader, UDM, none other than Captain Ali Roba, for his leadership to come up with this bill. Mr. Speaker, sharing of county, this division revenue bill is only 15%. 85% is under national government. Mr. Speaker, this 15%, it normally goes to the county, and out of that 15%, it's supposed to be 30% for development and 70% for revenue, for recurrent expenditure. Mr. Speaker, but what's going on now, it's totally different. 50% counties are using for 50% they are using, no, 80% they are using for recurrents. Now, instead of 30%, they're using 15% for development. That means our development is minimum. Mr. Speaker, since withdrawal of this finance bill, that is 2024, there is a shortfall. So indeed, the governor also supposed to streamline their expenditure. That's why from 400 million, they have reduced to 385. That shows that the county government also to be straightforward on prioritizing how to do their projects. Mr. Speaker, when we are reducing from 400 to 385, let's also remind ourselves that there is additional funds to the counties. That is housing levy, this SHIF, and also there is NSSF, and there is also industrial park. Mr. Speaker, as much as there is also additional expenditure, we need to prioritize our projects. Mr. Speaker, when we are passing this bill, that means we are taking care of the devolution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why am I saying that? Because devolution is working. I can prove that in Mandera County, Mr. Speaker, currently we are, as before, referral hospital in Mandera County. We are referring all the county, sub-counties to Mandera County Referral Hospital, but currently, under equalization fund, we are doing our surgeries in a town called Takaba and Banisa. Mr. Speaker, that showed that the county devolution is working. Mr. Speaker, also during COVID, in Mandera County, we are maintaining our ICU properly, and that means that devolution is working. Mr. Speaker, on this scenario of collection of revenue on the side of counties, Mr. Speaker, they have to put a strong mechanisms on how to increase their revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, instead of relying on county issues and the national government, for instance, there is this major dam. Mr. Speaker, the governor must prioritize the projects, because what we need currently is a major dam. We don't have to wait national government to do our project. For how long, Mr. Speaker? So as a CEO of the government, the county government, that as a governor, must sit down and focus on what is our priorities, so that at least this rain season, the flood cannot be wasted. We have to harvest water. Mr. Speaker, the government, Mr. Speaker, the county, Mr. Speaker, governors, sometimes they do the national projects instead of the county development. For instance, imagine governor doing, constructing a secondary school, classrooms, whereas there is an installed project of maternity ward. Mr. Speaker, in that scenario, they have to. That shows that they are prioritizing the national government project instead of county project. Mr. Speaker, in some counties also, there is a medical equipment which has been installed cannot be used, because, Mr. Speaker, what a shame. If a government, national government, can give you meds, through the meds can give you an equipment, and the governor could just sit down, wrap his hand together, and wanted also national government to connect for him or her the equipment. Mr. Speaker, we have to, the county government must sit down and think of what to do on their project. Mr. Speaker, with all this, thank you very much, and I support.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Onyonka.
Ndugu Spika, kwa kusema kweli, huu ndio wakati wangu wa kwanza kushughulika kwa kutoa maoni yangu kuhusu sheria hii ambayo tumetunga juzi kuhusu makadirio ya fedha ya kiserikali na maeneo ya gatuzi nchini mwetu. Ndugu Spika, nilipokuwa nikichangia wakati tulikuwa tuna mawiano na mazungumzo kuhusu hizi hela, nilikuwa mmoja wa wale wabunge wa seneti ambao nilikuwa nakataa, kwa sababu fikira zangu zilikuwa, na hata sasa saa hizi fikira zangu ni kuwa zile hela ambazo county zilikuwa zimepewa zilikuwa zimetosha na hakukuwa na haja kuziondoa, kwa sababu zile pesa ambazo serikali kuu inazitumia kiasi chake ni kikubwa, kwa sababu ni 85 kwa asilimia. Lakini baada ya ndugu zangu kuchangia hapa na kuzungumza yale maneno na shida ambazo tumejipata hapo ndani, ndugu Spika, ningependa kusema hivi. Jambo la kwanza ningependa kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Rais wa nchi ya Kenya, tafadhali hakikisha ugatue zile kazi ambazo magatuzi ya kaunti zetu zote zinatakiwa kufanya na hela zao kwa mwaka ujao, kwa sababu sasa tumefanya oversight yetu kama Nyapara. Tumeangalia vitabu zote kwa makaunti yote 47 na sasa tumefika mwaka wa 2023-24, which mean kwa kizungu tunasema tuko current. Ndugu Spika, sababu ya hii ni kuwa maeneo gatuzi yetu ndiko umaskini mwingi huko. Maeneo gatuzi zetu ama makaunti vile tunaita, ndiko watu wengi wanaishi. Hapo ndiko tunahitaji mabarabara mingi, ndio tunahitaji maji, ndio tunahitaji ukulima, ndio tunahitaji madaktari kwa mashinani. Kwa hivyo ndugu Spika, ningependa kusema kuwa jambo la kwanza kama sisi kama seneti tunatakiwa kufanya ni kuhakikisha kuwa tumuulize rais kwa heshima, ahakikishe kuwa agatue zile kazi ambazo kaunti zinatakiwa kufanya na hela zake. Jambo la pili, ningependa kusema kuwa magavana wamekuwa wakisema kila wakati kuwa hawajapata pesa za serikali, kuwa hata mishahara ilikuwa haijaja. Ndugu Spika, tungependa kuambia ndugu zetu magavana kuwa Wakenya si wajinga sasa. Wakenya wanajua na wakati gani serikali inatoa hela. Hizo hela zinafika kwa maeneo ya magatuzi, makaunti zetu mashinani, na magavana wakipata hizo pesa wanatarajiwa kuzitumia vizuri, zifanye kazi. Ndugu Spika, kaunti yangu ya Kisii, nikizungumza saa hizi kwa CRF account, na gavana yangu amekuwa akiambia watu hamna pesa kutoka kwa serikali kuu, hatuna pesa kutoka serikali kuu. Shilingi bilioni 6.3 ziko kwa Central Bank. Hakuna pesa zinafanya. Wale ambao walikuwa makandarasi hawajalipwa, wafanyikazi wa kaunti wengine wanavutwa kazi, wengine wanaandikwa, kila kitu hakifanyiki, hakuna barabara. Saa hizi mvua imenyesha. Na ndugu Spika, ukiangalia zile shida ambazo ziko katika maeneo yote ya ugatuzi, na hili ndilo jambo ndugu yangu Cherargei alikuwa anasema, ukiwa na heshima unamwambia gavana wako, gavana, pesa mimi ndio nimeuliza, nimezichunga, zimekuja, ziko kwa akaunti, tafadhali utumie hizi pesa usaidie watu wetu. Ndugu Spika, anakusetea guns. Jamaa wanakuja na panga, wengine wamebeba mabunduki. Huyo senator anataka kutunyang'anya ugavana wetu. Huyo senator ndio mwizi. Huyo senator. Ndugu Spika, ningependa kuwaambia magavana wetu, hatuna vita na wao. Wengine wetu hata tutaki kuwa magavana. Kazi yetu ni kuhakikisha zile hela ambazo kaunti kama yangu Kisii napata kila mwaka shilingi bilioni 15. Kwa miaka miwili Kisii imepata shilingi bilioni 30. Ukitoa ndugu Spika pesa za mishahara shilingi bilioni 6.5, bilioni 13 ndio zimeenda kwa mishahara. Shilingi bilioni zingine 16 ama 12 ndizo zimebakia, zinatakiwa ziwafanyie wananchi kazi. Hamna madawa kwa hospitali. Miradi iliyokuwa na tengenezo ya maji haifanyiki. Pesa ambazo zinatoka kwa wale wahifadhi, donor support, zote Kisii County zimesimamishwa. Sababu gani? Kwa sababu zile conditionalities donors wanasema mzifanye hii, mzifanye vile, mmezoea hiyo wizi wenu. Gavana alipoingia huko akatoa wale walikuwa wanaweka signature, akaweka wake, hakujua sheria inasema hawezi kufanya hivyo. Ukiuliza walimu wa ECD centers, nyinyi maseneta mko hapa wengi kwa maeneo gatuzi yenu, hawajalipwa mishahara. Wengine mishahara wanakula minimum wage. Unaweza kumwandika mtu afunze mtoto wako kutoka darasa la kwanza mpaka la 3 la 4 na unamlipa shilingi 7,000, ndugu Spika. Na huyo ni mtu amesoma, hata wengine wameenda chuo kikuu. Wale wahifadhi wa matibabu, community health workers, ambao ni wa vijiji, ambao mishahara yao wengine serikali ilisema itatenga hela ambazo hawa wananchi watakuwa wanapata. Nini kimefanyika ndugu Spika? Eneo la Kisii County, wale community health workers wangu hawajalipwa. Na unajua ndugu Spika, kwa county ya Kisii CRF nabeba nini? Shilingi bilioni 6 baba. Sasa shida zetu Kenya hii ndizo hizo. Kuna ufisadi, kuna wizi, kuna lack of management, yani mtu anashindwa kuwa manager. Pengine Speaker, tuanze kujiuliza kama Wakenya, ule mtu anataka awe governor, jameni, tunataka aende shule gani? Kwa sababu wengi wao kazi imewashinda, ndugu Speaker. Wengi wao akija ni kuwavuta kazi ya ule gavana aliyekuwa mwanzo aliyemtangulia, awaondoe wale jamaa, kwa sababu hao watu hawako kwa ukoo wake. Alete wake wa ukoo huo awaweke pale kazi, akivunja sheria, ili wao ndio walimpigia kura. Ndio sababu wanataka kuambia hawaelezea kuwa yeye ndio mzuri na ule gavana aliyekuwa mbeleni hapo ni mbaya. Ndugu Speaker, na hawa jamaa wote wanaitwa Wakisii. Hawa jamaa wote ni Wakenya. Hawa jamaa wote wanalipa ushuru. So yale mambo ambayo yanatukera, kama mimi, mambo yanaonishinda ni kuwa tumefika mahala ambako lazima kama Wakenya tujiulize, hizi hela ambazo wananchi wa Kenya wanatoa kama ushuru, hizi hela tunataka tuzilinde vipi? Zinatakiwa zifanye, kwa sababu unaona juzi, na namheshimu sana gavana wa Kakamega, nilikuwa huko kwa huo mkutano, sikutaka kujibu, anasema kuwa controller ndiye anamnyima pesa. Tunajua kuna mahala ambako controller ndio amekataza magavana wengine wazitoe pesa, lakini vile ndugu yangu Chirargei alisema, ndugu yangu Speaker, governor anaweza kuenda yale malipo, kwa sababu wakitoa CIDP zile pesa zinakuja zinaingia kwa IFMIS inatoa controller of budget na Ministry of Finance wanafanya ile entry ambako wanasema hizi hela mmefanya budget, yule ambaye atalipwa kazi amefanya ni hii, recurrent ni hii na development na hii. Magavana wanafunga hawa jamaa wasilipwe, alafu wanaleta zile makampuni wanaotaka, wanaleta wale mabibi zao na wale watu wa jamii wao ambao wana kandarasi, ndio sasa wanawalipa, wanawaacha wale waliokuwa wamefanya kazi miaka 3, miaka 4, miaka 5 iliyobaki. Shida yetu Kenya ndio hii, kuwa maendeleo ambayo tunayozungumza, katiba iliyoandikwa nchi yetu hii ya mwaka 2010 ni katiba ilikuwa ilete usawa kwa nchi yetu. Ni katiba ambayo ilikuwa matarajio yake na uwezo wake ni kuwa tulikuwa tuna haja ya kuondoa ufisadi katika maendeleo ya Wakenya, ili tujaribu kumaliza umaskini nchini kwetu. Yale ambayo yamepatikana sasa, ndugu Speaker, serikali kuu inapora 85%, magavana washika 15, wanapora, wanamaliza hiyo. Alafu sasa ndio juzi, ndugu Speaker, uliona tukisema enda hapa Kilimani utaona ni kina nani wana manyumba makubwa. Tembea mahali kokote, wa magavana wengine wanadhani wananchi ni wajinga. Hao wakiiba pesa hapo ndio wanajenga masupermarket na wananchi wanaona. Si ati ni vibaya wananchi wajue ati ni wao wamejenga, lakini yale tunayosema, ndugu Speaker, hatuwezi kuwa na huruma kwa watu wetu. Miaka 60 watu wetu hana maji ya kunywa. Vile tulienda kwa Mheshimiwa Lomaken Turkana, boss, county ambayo imechukua shilingi bilioni 112 baada ya miaka 10 haina maji ya kunywa mji kwa town, na maji ambayo yako chini kwa milima ya aqueduct ya Turkana Lake, hiyo mto unapita hapo kwenu, unaitwa nini huu mto wa katikati, Takwel, mto wa Takwel, maji yako hapo sijui ni trilioni 2 ya maji. Ile kitu natakikana ni maji kulimwa, yapelekwa kwa mlima, wananchi wapate maji. I say bwana Speaker, bilioni 100 hamwezi tengeza maji. Kaunti yangu miaka 2 sasa, Kisii County, wamepata shilingi bilioni 32 baada ya miaka 2. Na ukitembea mahala hamna. Stadium Kisii haijatengenezwa, mahospitali hakuna madawa hapo, kwa hiyo hospitali hakuna maji. Wale watu ambao wanakuja zamani na wengine hawa magavana wanasema ati on source revenue increase, sasa increase yangu mpaka 75%, sasa mimi natengeneza 800. Hamna. Zile pesa wanaita on source revenue ni zile pesa wanavuja kutoka wapi? Kutoka kama hospitali zile ndogo ndogo na hizi hospitali kubwa, kwa sababu wananchi hawana option. Gavana ambaye amefanya kazi ya kuokota hela ambazo ni ushuru wananchi wa Murang'a wamelipa, huyu gavana wa Murang'a amefanya kazi nzuri, ndugu Speaker. Ametumia teknolojia, anaenda anaokota hela kutoka kwa wale ambao wanajenga, wale ambao wana nyumba, wale ambao shilingi bilioni 1.5 lakini Na sababu ni hii, wale ambao wako kwa komiti yake ya kimaendeleo ni wale vigogo wamefanya biashara kutoka mlima kule juu Murang'a. Waangalie mwenye Equity Bank, waangalie mwenye hawa jamaa wote. Asante ndugu Spika kwa kunipa hii fursa.
Senator Onyonka, this debate shall resume in the afternoon.
Thank you.
You will have a remainder of 8 minutes.
Thank you.
Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 27th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.
Work in law.
Honorable Jaldeso Daktari, but meanwhile, Chair, just like we did with the earlier one, be taking those notes. That's why I've looked in your direction. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think what Millie has been saying is that assisted reproductive is not surrogacy. Surrogacy, and it's good that people get it correct, surrogacy is just one component of assisted reproduction. And there are many ways that is happening, from UIU, intrauterine insemination, to many other forms. So the bill is aimed at one thing. How do we allow a woman who desires to conceive?
Daktari, are you moving this bill again?
No, no. So
be very precise.
But so for this bill, clause 5.
Clause 5, thank you.
For clause 5, Mr. Speaker, yes, we may not need to set up a directorate.
Good.
But we need a secretariat within the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council.
Perfect.
And it is provided by law, and it's not looked after by deletion, but altering that clause 5, so that we have a secretariat dealing with this thing housed in the...
We have heard you.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable. We are coming to you after Honorable Karoli.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think Honorable Kaluma is right in terms of licensing. That is a preserve of the Medical Practitioners Board. But we need a repository within the Ministry of Health of all the information relating to assisted reproductive technology. We need a hub where somebody can go and get information, whether you are doing research or there's a dispute or the courts need assistance. It is the same with even adoption of children. We need one central repository, and either we call it a directorate or a
secretariat.
We need.
Okay.
Yes, but the government language is directorate.
Finally, Doctor, you know, Dr.
Chair, thank you, and I think we are doing very well on this bill.
Okay.
Because we seem to concur. Some unit is required that will keep this information, which is over and above what you'd normally have for other patients. And I think we agreed we do it in the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council, but we'll need your guidance, Chair, on how we do that, because if we just delete this, where then do we bring in the issue of the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council to do the job which we have all agreed should be done?
Thank you, Dr. Ali, and that's why I bring in the chair, and remember that has been the pet subject of Honorable Millie. No, let's hear the chair now.
Chair, when Honorable Kaluma brought this issue, initially we thought we can do it under the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. But after further consultations between me and the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council and the ministry, we felt it is still the idea of which is in there that we put it as a directorate. That is because the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council will still have a function in terms of registration and licensing of facilities, and even determining the qualifications of who runs, whether it's an embryologist or whoever, who runs those facilities. So I think the deletion, I would urge Honorable Kaluma to drop it so that we allow the committee amendment where we retaining, we retain it the way it is, that we need to have a directorate within the Ministry of Health that is solely responsible, because this is a specialized area, and there is nothing wrong with having a directorate that deals with assisted reproductive technology, because it does not cost an extra cost. It is still just reorganization of the ministry.
We are closing ranks, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, I appeared before the committee, and as Honorable Millie confirms, I was able to persuade all of us who were before the committee during harmonization on the need not to establish a directorate to deal with matters, the mandate of which are already given by statute to the Kenya Medical. Good before the on an amendment instead of a total deletion to clause 5 to say that the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Council shall establish a secretariat to be known as the Assisted Reproductive Technology Secretariat. That way it will then, flow. When we start creating directorate for every facet of health, Chair, you can imagine how many we are going to establish. And they also have ramifications on the finances of the state. But beyond that, my fear about establishing a whole directorate, if you then see the things being mandated, not only as matters under the remit of Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Council, but will also be creating a structure for commercial surrogacy, which we have already prohibited. In fact, look at all jurisdictions where altruistic surrogacy is permitted. And there across the world, I appeared before the committee with an outline in terms of assisted reproduction across the world. Commercial surrogacy is prohibited because of that convention I read. Now, they don't prohibit words like directorate, commissioning parent, and I think I persuaded the committee on this because it brings the idea of commerce, not a directorate, but let us have a secretariat. A secretariat that licenses practitioners, that sets the guidelines that we are talking about here, that establishes, in my view, Chair, with clarity, the procedure for licensing and supervision of clinics, but within Kenya Medical Practitioners. Thank you, Chair.
What's your point of order, Honorable Millie? And we are constrained with time also.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think we just need to be clear that in the early amendment, we have actually outlawed commercial surrogacy. So it does not even arise. It will not arise even as we go on. But listening to what the chair said, because there's been a very consultative process. Personally, as Millie, because I'm not a medic, I really don't care where it's situated so long as there's structure and regulation. But the ministry, people are the ones who have advised. In fact, they're the ones who advised me to create a directorate. We had actually initially created a different body, and they are the ones who, but they told me
Proceed,
they didn't tell me. Yeah, you can't have a point of order on a point of order. And Chair, they are the ones who actually advised us to come with that. But that aside, personally, I don't care. It can be put in a village directory, it can be put in a village, whatever, so long as we have something that ensures some form of regulation. So I would want to defer to the chairs because they are the experts on this issue.
Honorable Millie, thank you for those sentiments. And Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. No, Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. And therefore, the chair, I will hold on there. We shall actually stop there. I'll give you a chance over lunch hour to just do a tete-a-tete. Because I see you are trying to make a very good law. I'm very constrained to put the question because I see the law says that will ensure, and therefore we shall end there for now. Next. Mover. Mover to report.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again.
Very well. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again. Will as many as without opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, we'll start with the coffee bill. Chairperson.
Happy Mike. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also want to request Honorable Professor Chaldesa to second the motion for agreement.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. We shall prosecute the assisted reproductive now. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and approved the same with amendments.
And the time being 1:13 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 27th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.